Crossroads Comedy Project, and as always, we're recording live here in the famed Comedy Off Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky, by far the best comedy club in the Midwest.
Yes, I say the damn country.
The whole damn country. At least top five, though. Well, I'm your host, Ish Shalash, and my partner Josh couldn't be here today, but I got my good friend and fellow comic filling in.
Hey, Madison Pohl. Nice to meet you all.
There you go. So enthusiastic, Madison, to be here.
Yeah.
And our guest today, he's been killing it here all weekend. He was a finalist in last year's prestigious San Francisco International Comedy Competition. We're extremely lucky to have Chris Griffin.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Canada in the house today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're Canadian.
Yeah. Canada. What part of Canada are you from?
I'm from originally Calgary, Alberta, Canada, which is above Montana, and then I make my home in Vancouver now.
Okay.
So, yeah, 2 hours north of Seattle.
Oh, nice.
I've got family in Guelph.
Oh, yeah.
Ontario, yeah.
Been to Guelph a few times.
But, yeah, it's been a while since I've been there, but love Canada.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. So is this your actually first time here in Comedy on Broadway?
It's my first time at this club. It's my first time in Lexington doing comedy, but I was here about 10 years ago in this city, maybe 2009, 2008. Do you guys know Tucker Max?
Yeah, so I saw you talking that my buddy sister dated Tucker Max for a long time.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, and I think she moved out to Austin. Is it?
Yeah.
He lived in Austin for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you telling that story and nobody here knew who you were talking about, so you kind of backed off of it, but I said yeah, but I was serving that night, so I couldn't let you know. But yeah, so I don't know Tucker Max, but I loved I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell.
Yeah, he wrote the book. Yeah, I thought maybe he'd be a big celebrity here, but then I think he is with maybe a certain demographic.
I think he left here way before he ever got famous. So
am I supposed to know who this guy is?
Well, he's kind of a local celeb in that he's kind of like I guess in some way, kind of like a cult following kind of guy.
Yeah, he wrote a weird college book.
Yeah.
I Hope There's a Beer in Hell, where he's just kind of being an asshole, which he is.
It's all about like his sexcapades and stuff,
yeah.
and it was funny, really funny.
He was also the first guy, sort of when the internet started. He was one of the main, websites people would go to and really capitalize on that, making a book, and they made a movie out of it. So when they made the movie,
which the movie wasn't bad.
No,
it wasn't
but it also wasn't great.
Yeah,
was the problem.
It wasn't great.
But yeah, they made that movie, I Hope There's a Beer in Hell, and then instead of releasing it in theaters, which they did eventually, we released it all around the States and one show in Canada in theaters near college campuses. So there'd usually be 400 people jammed out, and then it was amazing. And then one of the shows was here because I think this is his hometown.
Right.
And still to this day, one of the craziest nights of my life. Like, I don't know. Yeah, nuts. So
you're buddies with him?
Yeah, I worked for him. I don't know if we're buddies, but
okay.
he was a difficult guy at that time. I think he's done a lot of work in that regard, but I was fine with him. I got along with him good. Yeah, it was like 12 of us on a tour bus, just kind of going through the States.
See, I'm kind of glad, or I'm not glad, I'm kind of upset. I don't know who this guy is.
Well, I don't know him at all. I read the book, and then I don't really remember the website, but I saw the movie too.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that he's from Kentucky was always like probably the reason why I know.
Oh.
I mean, he's not like a superstar, international famous guy
no,
or anything
very
like that,
niche.
But he's some internet famous, I guess.
So he's no Chris Griffin, right?
Yeah.
He's no Chris Griffin. No.
I think he's a little more famous than even me. Unless you're doing
being
the
that
Family
you're
Guy.
Canadian, though, you are an international star now.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the definition of star is, though. Do people have to know who you are on the other side of the border, or do you just have to go there?
So how popular are you in Canada?
Canada, I'm getting there. Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, I headline, do stuff. But out here, yeah, it's funny coming out here. It's good. Actually, the headliner this weekend at the club, Daryl Lennox, is super funny. He's helped me a lot, but he'll take me down through the States, and then it's a good exercise to see, what jokes fly and what jokes people have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, he'll always make me he's like, do this bit, do that bit. So just to kind of force me to adjust it and make sure.
Now, have you been to the gay club here? You were talking about going to the gay. Have you been to the one here?
Whoa.
Did I miss something?
That's a great bit.
Yeah. People are really trying to push us to go. It's a great time.
Who's we? I need to know who this is.
He's got a bit about going to a gay club and how he
okay.
felt like an all-star because he went. It's a really good bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was asking like, "Hey, where is it here? Because maybe I can do the same thing here."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people are like, yeah, you could. And trying to get us to go up. Instead, we keep going to this weird karaoke bar and drink until 3 a.m.
Well, then you need to hang out with Madison more.
Yeah.
Where are Malibu? Or are you going to Malibu?
Yeah.
That's where you've been?
Yeah, and we drank it was 12 beers, 12 shots, nachos, wings, and our bill was $35. I'm like, how's that possible? We can't end up with $300, man.
Yeah.
Good luck. I don't know that place, but
Oh man,
I
yeah.
haven't been there in forever, so I don't even know what it's like anymore.
People are having a good time.
Every time, by the time that we get out of shows here, the comics are always like, "Hey, let's go somewhere to get a beer," and somewhere it's always we want to go somewhere close because they want to get back to the hotel quickly or whatever. And so it's either like Malibu or Survivors, and Malibu is better than Survivors, I think. So that's something close, and it's usually a good time because people do like karaoke. Watching people make an ass of themselves is funny. So it's like, yeah, it's cheap. So they have food. Usually, like guys want to get a bite to eat or something. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad place to go for that.
Well, another option, because I hang out there a lot on the weekends, is Marika's.
Marika's is great.
And it's a great place.
Oh, is it?
Are you a volleyball player at all? No?
I'm in high school, but
Oh, okay.
it's been 20
So they
years.
have like sand volleyball outside and inside.
Oh,
and
shit.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's huge.
Are you all going? You have early flights tomorrow?
D does, I know for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't even booked mine yet. I wasn't sure where I was going to go to D.C. or maybe New York. Yeah, I don't know, so I haven't booked
You
it.
just hang
Oh,
out
cool.
here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just move
There you go.
here permanently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Move to Lexington.
We have an awesome open mic tomorrow.
Oh, good.
that. Shameless
Bar, yeah.
plug, Madison.
Get a job at Malibu.
Yeah.
So I was kind of reading your bio, and I noticed that you actually won the Vancouver Yuck Yuck competition.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like an amazing name. I mean,
Oh, yuck. Yeah.
I really want to know what the heck that is and all about.
Yuck Yucks is our national chain. So I don't know what you guys have. Do you have the Improvs here? Is that the one that's
Oh, is that
national?
what that is?
Improv, Funny Bone.
Funny Bone and Improv are probably
Yeah,
the two big ones
so
here.
Yuck Yucks is like the mafia up in Canada, or it was in the 80s, 90s. So they have 15 clubs plus a ton of other road work across the city. Like it's a brand. You could go coast to coast in Canada
Oh,
and ask,
okay.
and they'll know. Yeah, it's run by Mark Breslin, who's sort of like our Canada's wannabe Lorne Michaels, I guess. But he sort of
cool.
acts like that. But then so they've lost a little bit of their control because it's a different game now. But yeah, in the 80s, 90s, he was the man. But it was the mafia. It's like you can only work for them. You can't do anything else. Like, yeah. But,
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a weird
lucky
name.
for you, Chris. Josh has actually walked through
Oh.
the room and joined us.
My God! I've been dying to talk. All right. Can
Yeah.
you hear me okay? Is this,
we can hear you.
Josh
Yeah.
came.
Just hear me
I couldn't
fine.
hear you when you did the scream, but
Well, it's all right. I like screaming, Chris. Don't. Is your name Chris Griffin? All right.
Oh, God.
So
There you go. First Family Guy joke. That
know.
was talking about
That was Beavis and
We
Butthead. That
made it
wasn't
8
even
minutes.
Family Guy.
that was. But you you're such a
don't know.
non-nerd.
I don't know what Beavis and Butthead is. No, I'm
I
kidding,
hate this
do.
mic stand too. This is horrible. Look at this. I'm gonna improvise.
You can hold it. You can actually hold the mic. You know that.
I'm so happy to be back, though. My God, I've come out of the frying pan, and now I'm back into the fire on this amazing podcast. Chris, super psyched you're here.
yeah. Did you get out of what happened with your job today?
He got fired.
No, no, I didn't get fired. I actually curb stomped my boss, which is awesome. He's missing all his teeth now, and he's going to be popular in prison. So, other than that,
Hope he doesn't listen to.
Yeah.
No, who would?
it'd be amazing if he did, because I come in, hey, you curb stomped me, huh? Do you want me to? I mean, I can do
Back
that.
out to Shelbyville.
Actually, I didn't have to go. It was
right on.
it was a beautiful thing. I got done, and I called. I don't know if Daryl got my message. Did you get it?
No, I don't know. All I talked to him was before when we were going to start this, and he said he's not there. I'm not coming. He was very upset.
He's very upset.
Yeah. Well, as upset as
You
he
must have
gets.
built quite a rapport and like.
I love the
little
guy.
bit of
I
time
absolutely
that you
love
spent with
Daryl Lennox. I do. But I of course, I'd have to listen to see what you guys are at with this. But I really, did you guys ask him anything about his set yet? Anything like that?
talked to him
Madison
about the
was,
gay stuff.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to ask him about.
So that's two of them. I need to hear this bit.
Yeah.
I mean, not
well,
now,
you
but
should
I'm going
you
to listen
should
to it.
you should hang out and watch the
But
show.
now
then.
apparently these two want to go to a gay club. So whatever it
I
is,
just
it's
want to
working.
see. I want to see him in action.
Yeah.
No, I
I want to see how many free drinks
I,
you can get.
all right.
Really.
So my question was, all right. So you're going on the whole, like you're making people feel awkward, and at the same time it's hilarious types. Is that your intentions when you went after it, or do you just find that kind of stuff funny? Like, why did you go down that vein? Because you do a lot of gay stuff. I mean, there's
Okay.
Well,
there
there's a lot of gay things. I
there's a
know,
lot
but
of gay things.
I think
A lot
it's
of butt
it's
stuff.
yeah. I don't even know if there's specifically butt stuff. There should be more of that. Yeah, it's part of it is that I mean playing it because I'm in Vancouver, Canada, which is like the gay capital almost of the world.
Oh,
So,
really? I
yeah,
didn't know
it's-
that.
Oh man, big time, and it's not even a thing there. Like you can't even talking about gay shit. It's not even shocking in the slightest.
So like
way.
San Francisco.
really?
pretty
Yeah,
much?
it's like San Fran exactly, and then so out there it's not as shocking, but it's fun to take it to different places, and then even with Lennox, you know, when he brings me out, he'll be like, do this joke, do that, like see what's
Yeah.
happening. He made me do a crazy one last night.
That
yeah.
joke was
Oh,
brave.
man, that one's done. Yeah, about a guy that got killed. This racist dude that stole cars. That I got in a car with. Yeah, he's like, try that one. And it's just like dead silent. People be like, man, but it's fun to do that. And then yeah, you kind of because I think a great joke should be able to play anywhere as long as you can get them to go along with you.
Sure.
In why you're in it, and I think the gay bar is successful in that. Like
It is.
It's mostly you're just like, hey man, I was just went all in an experience. Maybe got in over my head, but yeah, which most of my stories are sort of that similar.
They're great stories.
Yeah.
They are. And it's just I just want to know, how did you end up saying, oh, okay, this is the angle I'm going to go for? Because I mean, a lot of the stuff is very sexualized. I mean, whether it's straight or gay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of your stories are. And I just like, is that?
I think they're just true stories. So that's just what happened. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't really. Yeah, it just kept escalating. That one specifically, but yeah, they're all true. So I don't know. I feel weird if I don't tell the story.
So are you
Okay.
involved in these true stories?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would
yeah.
be why I said it's a true story.
Yeah.
Try and pay attention to the
No,
podcasts.
I'm not saying-
Ish. We're just
I'm not sure where I am right now.
I know. God, that's not fair. I have to work tonight.
Oh yeah.
You show up, Josh, start talking about gay stuff and butts and
You should be right at home then. Shut up.
lube and whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
So what's next for you, man?
Man, I'm gonna spend another week in the States and then back up to Canada to headline a couple cities there, or 3 in a row. Yeah, I guess. And then-
Nice.
yeah. I'm gonna record an album. There's a big, do you know Just for Laughs? You guys know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's in Montreal, but there's Just for Laughs Northwest in Vancouver, which is sort of just the West Coast version of it. They do a festival every year, bringing lots of big names. So they're gonna help me promote a thing, and then I'll record it in October, and yeah, hopefully
Awesome.
release that. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Awesome.
badass.
You still live in Vancouver?
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'd love to make it down to the States. So basically, I'm hoping this album gets, because it's really difficult now to get from, down into the States from Canada or anywhere, I guess, to fully work and be on board and get the green card. So yeah, hopefully this album will help that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Push it through. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll do really well. As far as like nerdom, are you a nerd for anything like the Star Wars, Star Trek, anything like that? Because like I'm a super uber nerd about that stuff. He is anti-nerd.
Please say
He's
no.
yeah.
And it's okay either way. I just
Yeah.
want to know.
Star Wars started. No, I'm trying to think of some.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll think of.
You always ask this question to every single guest
because
we have.
I'm interested. And
Well, I'm not.
You're wearing a Tyson shirt. Are you a boxing fan?
Yes, I love.
Oh,
Mike
there you
Tyson.
go. See,
All right.
sports.
I'm all in
Sports
on
is my
him.
thing.
Yeah.
That guy was a phenom.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Best.
watched him rise. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. Pissed off so many people.
Oh man, I know, I love it.
Yeah.
But then I think if you watch interviews, because a lot of people, sometimes people yell at me for wearing the shirt and get very upset. But if you watch interviews with him, he's very conscious of, because I think they really portrayed him as like a bad dude. Yeah.
yeah.
But even if you watch like I think it's one of the 30 for 30s chasing Holyfield, and they show the other side of him where he's like very respectful to Holyfield. And
Absolutely.
There's a video on the internet where they asked Tyson who would win, him or Ali. And he's like, oh man, Ali would beat, and he just starts crying like how much he loves him. So I think he was just really taken advantage of I think it's after Costamato died, his sort of mentor, then
Yeah.
he just, went off the rails. But then I also have a picture on my phone of Tyson at a party in the 90s with just cocaine all over his whole face. And I was like, oh man, I didn't know that. But I guess there's,
I think I'm one of the few people that thinks, maybe not few, but I think that Tyson would destroy Ali.
No,
I think he would have destroyed
I
him.
deep down think that too.
Growing up, that I think the same as you.
I don't
prime.
think that there's a rope-a-dope for Mike
Well,
Tyson.
we would see him just
that.
destroy these people in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you just
know?
punch their heads off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
he
then
would
Buster Douglas comes along and knocks him on his fucking ass.
Yeah.
And Douglas was like a big fat guy that he
Yeah.
had no business beating Tyson.
But Tyson
That
is
was a
prime,
freak.
man. I mean, that's what you have
All
to
right,
measure.
so Ali
Prime
in his
versus
time
prime.
versus Ali, if they're both in their prime Ali
versus-
was such a smart boxer.
Yeah.
He would have brought him off his game because of his mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Obviously,
Could you
yeah.
imagine though if we had that today?
I
Each
know.
get would be
I
like
couldn't
200 million
name-
each.
I couldn't
Easy.
name 5
you know?
boxers right now.
Oh, really?
I couldn't name 5.
All right, so did you see that Tyson interview when he was talking about Mayweather?
Yeah, I believe it. Which one was that?
The one where he said he's not a real
Oh
boxer.
yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like Mayweather at all, and then
No.
I can't blame him. I don't like him either. Everybody says he's the best defensive. All right, so running is a defense, okay, because that's what he does.
Yeah, I know. It's very boring fights,
It's
man.
they're-
You're like, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he's
horrible.
incredible as a counterpuncher, but it's just that's not gonna. I mean, it does
Yeah.
sell tickets, but it's very boring. Yeah.
I mean, he's just really conditioned. I mean, because he can just run. Then the other guy's like tired of chasing him, and he beats him.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I mean, it's called pugilism. You're supposed to throw your fists.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's all it's like watching this FIFA thing with the guys just rolling around on the ground forever, and you're like, oh man, like why do you do that? But anyway.
And you look at the replay, and no one actually hit him.
I know it's part of the game, you're like,
Right. What about like my favorite all time is probably Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah,
Love that guy.
that was so exciting, man.
Man, this dude learned how to fight by watching a rooster. I mean, because you see that
Yeah,
thing
he's
where he used to stick his head
In and out, yeah, man, so cocky too. Yeah, his fights. I mean, that was just something I'd never seen before. Where he would just people. There's another guy right now, Lomachenko. If you can watch him, he's won all his professional fights except one. He didn't turn pro till he's 29, and I think he's had maybe 12 fights, most of them for belts, but his last 4, he's made the guy quit. He won't come out for the 7th round. 'cause
Wow.
He just beats him up. They know they can't win by points, and they're just like, no, I'm done. But it's so crazy. He was like a ballerina. His dad made him take ballerina classes, and he like just steps past people. It's the weirdest thing.
What's his name again?
Lomachenko.
I definitely need to look this
Loma,
guy up.
Loma. Yeah, look it up, man. But even just watch his highlight clip, you'll be like, holy shit. But it's very Roy Jones, where just his opponents are like, what do I even do? Like,
Yeah.
this sucks. Yeah.
I mean, Roy, like, if you look at the slow-mos on it, like, they're swinging at him, and he's, like, just barely, they're missing him, and he's like,
It's like the Matrix, yeah.
right, and then he pops him, and it's like, Jesus, and they're stiff arms, too, and you see their heads rock back, and it's like, my God.
Yeah, it's gotta suck just as I don't know. It's sort of like if you're just having a bad set as a comic, you're like, I don't even know what to do. Like, this sucks. Like,
That's a good
how do I
analogy.
get him back? Just start throwing haymakers. Something hits.
Yeah, well, that's how Tarver beat him.
Yeah, yeah.
If you look at the replay, I mean, his eyes were closed.
Yeah.
It was like, that was just a,
Full on.
please hit him.
Just beyond our years. We're too young for this, Madison.
Maybe a little.
He's
yeah.
actually the same age as you.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. How old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh yeah, I'm 37. Yeah.
See,
Okay. How old are you, Madison?
33.
Okay.
he's the young guy.
He's a young guy.
I'm the old guy.
But I'm not that into boxing, so.
I
I
was
was
huge into it.
I was huge into boxing until MMA came around, and I was like, what is the point of watching boxing anymore?
Well, I mean,
That
it's
is true,
completely
though.
corrupt
I'm
now,
Madison
though.
now.
It's
Yeah.
completely corrupt. What's the his name fell out of my head. The Filipino, real tough guy.
Pacquiao?
All right, last Pacquiao fight with Mayweather, he totally won that. And,
Oh, yeah, the one- yeah.
Yeah, and they gave it to, and it was like, come on, man. I mean, boxing is so fixed because of Don King. Don King ruined the sport.
Yeah.
And that's why MMA, I think, is big like it is, because it's not.
No, I think MMA is just more violent now.
Well, it actually was more violent back when it started
Yes.
in the 90s.
It was.
Back when it was like Toughest Man.
But
Yeah.
it was like they had to add the rules and because it was
Right.
like a little
It
bit
it
too
was a
much
little
for a
no
lot of
holds
people.
barred
It almost
kinda
didn't
thing.
seem like a sport. It seemed
Right.
like bloodlust, and that's it. Now that they they went and got some sanctions put on it, then
Yeah, there's rules.
it's
now.
now before it was like you could have a 150-pound guy fighting a 400-pound guy.
Right.
Yeah. And
No
their
gloves,
disciplines
no-
was like bear fighter
Right.
versus like bean picker. And you're
Right.
like, man, what the heck?
You remember the Beast, Dan Severn?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
So he actually came down and trained with us in Orange County.
Oh man.
And so I
Really?
got to work out with him for a little bit. That guy is insane.
He's
And
a
he looked
monster.
at us and he was like, you guys are the heroes. I couldn't do what you do. And
Wow.
we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Because he was insane. I mean, that was one of the original tough guys. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why they called him the Beast.
Was it Dan Severn against? I can't remember who was the. I think it was a Japanese fighter where they just held each other's shoulders
That's
and just went.
oh,
for-
Ken Shamrock, I think, and him. Didn't they go at it?
I can't
No, Ken
remember.
Shamrock was the one that always went against. No, was it?
He
Ken?
went against
Was it Hoist Gracie?
Yeah.
Shamrock and Gracie had their little like.
Yeah.
That would just be 45 minutes of them laying on the ground.
Just laying on the ground.
This was literally like me holding your shoulder, you holding my shoulder, and we're just going like this
Full on.
for. A
That
good
sounds like something
3
like Tank
rounds.
Abbott would have done.
Yeah, no, it was exactly Tank Abbott style.
Yeah.
and
That sounds like Tank
The end
Abbott.
of they were both just looked like pufferfish.
Yeah,
Both of their eyes.
UFC 1, the very first one, I remember it was like elimination where like the two guys went to the ring, whoever won, they advanced. It was like a
Yeah. And they would fight
tournament
4
time.
times in a night. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rent those VHS.
And there was this one guy, he came down, he had a gi, he kind of looked like you, a pretty boy, and he got in the ring and he won his first match, okay, and like it was a tough fight, and he won the first match. And then the second round came out. He's like, "Nah, I'm good." He was like, "I'm not doing it again." It's like, "You won the first." He's like, "Nah, I'm good."
tapped out.
Yeah, because that's how they used to do it. Like, you
Yeah.
have like a few fights in a day, right?
Yeah, you'd fight
You'd
4
fight
times
until you. Oh, it's
yeah,
so
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Now they get 6 months to prepare for a particular opponent, and they have train
Yeah,
a
it's
different
gotten very
way, and they have
technical.
like they go to a different camp for 6.
Yeah, and you could.
Yeah.
I even remember, I think when Kimbo Slice, the backyard fighter dude, he went in, I think it was him or it was Lesnar, but I think it was Kimbo Slice, and his first opponent was just some guy I'd never heard of. And he punched the guy right in the head, and the guy just went on the ground and tapped out. From the
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
"Why would you
Kimbo
tap out?"
Slice.
Yeah, and then his head was like ground beef, and I was like, oh man, it wasn't even a bruise.
Yeah.
Like, his brain was coming out of his head. I was like, man, gross, but yeah.
Who's do you watch MMA at all, or
Yeah, I do.
So who's your fighter?
I mean, obviously George
gotta
St.
be
Pierre.
GSP.
Yeah,
Like
he's
GSP?
the best. The best, man. Best, yeah.
GSP's
He's the
badass.
best.
I love watching Conor McGregor just because he's such an
Superstar.
experience.
Yeah, he's great too. I
Yeah.
hope he fights again soon.
Is he going to?
I think
Gonna
Oh
he
yeah,
is.
he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah.
He's dealing with. He just had a baby, so they're dealing with that.
And GSP's done now, though, isn't he?
GSP is done. He came out of retirement, kicked some dude's ass, and then
Twice, I think. Yeah,
twice.
So
But
good, man.
didn't Conor McGregor get kicked out of the?
No,
he
not
just
at
lost
all.
his belt because he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
defend it.
Yeah.
But he
he
still
got
has
it.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah, he still has another one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was just tying
He
up.
was busy making $300 million fighting
fight-
against Mayweather.
Yeah.
so-
Friggin' that Jose Aldo fight, I laughed so hard. Aldo had what 10 years of not
never
being beat,
lost.
never lost, and then McGregor comes
4
in.
seconds.
It's like 4 seconds. It's one of the fastest knockouts, and it was like that guy was saying before the match, he's never fought anybody good, and it's like, well, he still has an asshole. So
Yeah, I wasted $60 on that damn fight.
yeah, I was on my feet. I was like, yeah. Yeah, that shit's funny as hell. I love watching the females fight. Ronda was great to watch.
Yeah. I think it's gotten more exciting because it's not as technical like you're saying. It's not like everyone kind of knows everyone and it's waiting. Yeah, it was just like, more exciting.
I mean, girls scrap though. I mean, like the guys, they'll square up and but the girls, they're like, "Rah!" and they're after
they
each
don't-
other.
They don't sit around and feel
They-
each other out for
They
5
don't.
minutes.
They
and
don't. They go right after
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
You don't watch boxing either.
No, I was
What the
just.
hell do you do with your time?
I was just
He's like,
having
I got my money Amazon. That's what I do. I
Yeah,
do
that's
my
right.
Amazon.
Well, I was just had an mental image of the two girls going at it. Come on, Josh.
Let's see what I deal with. You see
Yeah.
this?
Don't do anything. You told me I'm supposed to just sit here and look pretty.
And you're doing a great
You're
job.
doing a
of that,
great
Thank
job,
you.
man. Isn't he doing a great job at that?
That's my job.
He's doing
I'm
a great
doing it.
job. Yeah. Anyhow. All right, so you like there's supposed to be fights on tonight, isn't there?
Yeah.
Who's fighting tonight? Do you know?
I don't know. Oh, is it the big one? Is it the Cormier?
It's a huge one. for
Yeah.
me,
We should all go out after the show and go watch that.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you came.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
You're not invited.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Go to, does Beat Up still show the fights?
The one in Lexington does. G-Town
think they
does.
do.
Frankfurt does not. Because Frankfurt sucks. That's where I live.
Oh, okay. I saw the sign when I was driving.
For Frankfurt?
Yeah.
And you were
I
like,
know
hey, there's the
Double.
capital.
Most state capitals are like, like one of the bigger
Blink,
cities and cooler
missed
cities.
it.
Frankfurt.
Just not.
Yeah, Frankfurt has like 23,000 people that live there. 300,000 work there.
Oh,
Because
man.
the state offices.
Yeah.
But only like 23,000 live there. It is the crappiest town.
And you're one of them.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah.
God damn it! Why did I fall into that? Good one, Chris. Good
there
one. That
are
was
a-
good.
He could
That
have
was
moved,
good.
but then he went and got a job there. So
Oh, yeah.
No, I couldn't have moved because the wife's, the
Oh,
grandbabies are there, and she's like, I'm not moving. And that's how my wife talks about it.
Nope, she doesn't listen to this.
She doesn't. She's
Your
like,
boss.
that's what I was just thinking. I was like, really? Hope she doesn't listen?
honestly,
This guy's going to lose his job and his marriage. Because of one
honestly,
podcast.
you just. My wife's like, I hate you. Just shut up. Do you have to breathe? Get out of there. I mean, that's my wife. She hates me. We've been married a long time. I mean, when I'm
Sounds so
home,
happy.
she's. What's that?
I said, you sound so happy.
Yeah, this
I'm
is the-
married, asshole.
That's the kind of love I want. That's real love, yeah.
With a guy or a girl.
Oh, man. Hey. With a girl.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. Is that what you said?
I mean, I don't think it matters. I'm not going to judge, but I would prefer a lady.
I like how gentle he did that. I'm not going to judge.
So politically correct.
Oh, man, you got to be.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that you have to be, PC now these days? 'Cause I've been reading a lot of articles about that.
Yeah, I think in Vancouver you do. There's an annoying element to it, but then there's also a pretty. I mean, it's super progressive up there. So there's like safe space rooms and all that. And
We talked to when Ian Bagg was here. We talked to Ian Bagg about the Canadian comedian.
okay.
Maybe you run across it. You know the guy who got like jailed for telling a joke?
Yeah.
Like a Make-A-Wish
No
joke?
way.
You know what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
That's
was telling us
true?
about that.
Tell me that story. I
Yeah,
haven't heard
well,
that.
there was a guy who he made a joke. I don't even remember what the joke was, but it was about Make-A-Wish.
You didn't listen to the podcast?
Something.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you told it on the podcast?
Yes.
Where was I?
No, I don't. He may not
Yes.
have been here. He may not have been.
No,
here.
he wasn't here, but it was
Oh,
on the
okay.
podcast.
Okay,
Oh.
whatever. So he made a joke. It was about. I think it was about like Make-A-Wish or something.
The one I know is I don't know about the Make-A-Wish one. There was a guy who made fun of two lesbians in the front row. He's like, oh, he talks about, and then he got
That's it.
fined and like, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, he
lost
got in
his
like a
court
lot of
case, yeah,
trouble, like
lost
with
his
like
business, yeah.
legal issues where he had to spend, and it was like really important for comedians at the time to like pay attention to this because like, listen, this is happening in Canada, it can happen anywhere, and he got in trouble. He had to spend like, he like went bankrupt trying to defend himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he lost a lot of money. And I think, like, yeah, with the safe space rooms, there was a lot of backlash when the people are like, this is, and all it is like, don't make a rape joke. Try not to, you still can do comedy, but they're just like, don't just be careful what you're
Right.
triggering things. And they kind of have, and at first there was a ton of backlash. People were like, this is the dumbest thing ever. But then now it's sort of settled in, and it's just, I look at it just like people go to the Dark and Dirty show, they want to, like they're like, give it to us, we want that. And then the people who go to Safe Space show are just like, hey man, just give us our version of it. And it's actually helped comedy because now these shows are all packed, everyone's got
Yeah.
their niche. And I mean, yeah, it didn't get enforced as aggressively as you would think. Like people aren't like, oh, you can't swear, you can still do something. And they're like, just be
Right.
conscious of the jokes you're
Yeah.
telling. So I don't know. Yeah, at first people didn't like it, but it sort of worked itself out. There's
Yeah.
more comedy for more people now, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that people sometimes they think that comedians are out to hurt people's feelings, and it's not necessarily the case. It's like, well, no, it's just these people, they think edgy. That's the way that they're like,
Yeah, that's
their
how their
mind
brain
goes to
works,
that
yeah.
place.
So basically what we're saying is Anthony Jeselnik could never go to Canada. That's what we're
Yeah,
saying.
no, he sells that so many shows. Yeah.
Does
I love
he?
him there. Oh man, yeah, big time.
But I mean, his jokes are like everything is taboo.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
I mean, they wouldn't bring him to the Safe Space show, but yeah, people, but they know what they're getting.
Are they actually
Yeah.
called the Safe Space Show?
Yeah, no, but well, I can't remember what it's
that's what
called.
that's
It's
what
called
Chris-
like Foxhole, but it's like it says this is a safe space, and they'll book comics that are, or certain comics come through, do a joke they're not supposed to, or people have bad reputations, they won't let them in, like if they've had criminal
safe.
charges and shit. Yeah,
If you're really sensitive, you can go to this show.
Yeah.
We're doing knock knock jokes. Knock knock jokes.
Safe
Yeah.
from
Knock knock.
words.
No.
Is that what you're doing tomorrow?
What, knock knock jokes?
Yes.
You know I do, man. I rock
Do
a
you?
knock knock joke. I do.
on stage. Are you doing a spot tonight?
I have no idea.
Oh man,
No
we were
one-
trying to push for it.
No one said anything to me. I'd be more than happy to, but I mean, it's obviously
It's all up to the big dog.
the big dog's got to say yes, and the club's got to say yes, because I don't rock the boat. No. I love this place.
Okay.
Never gonna burn a bridge.
And if he does, please let me know because I want to see some knock knock jokes.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep flicking you. You shut up.
Flicking me in the ear.
Flicking his headphones though is a thing.
Right.
Not even his ear.
It makes a big deep
People
noise.
are going to be adjusting their radio. They're like, well, what's this flicking noise?
Can you
Or
hear the
shit,
flicking
podcast.
noise? Can you hear it?
No, I can't
No,
hear
that's right.
Say yes. He's going to keep flicking me.
Oh, okay. I wanted to.
You're a bully, Josh.
Don't be a wuss.
I don't have to
Yeah,
take this.
bullying is a big one. Is there safe space rooms in Lexington?
I want to go
No.
into a safe space room now. I don't feel safe right now.
I know.
No, there's. I mean,
You're
no,
making me
there's
turn
not.
violent. You know that.
There are definitely
You're going to make me move to Canada now.
there are definitely like safe spaces that are starting to like show up on college campuses and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's usually
Yeah.
where it
like
starts,
that's
yeah.
a big
Yeah,
thing, but
and-
not like I don't know of any comedy situations yet anywhere around here.
What was the thing?
Definitely not in
I
Lexington.
mean, any like in my head, I'd think California. If there'd be the only place I could think of that would have something start like that, because I know they had safe cities.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe there.
I think that the way that the internet works now, that if you were to like go on stage and start making like just extremely tasteless rape jokes, then you would weed yourself out anyway. Like people would start
Yeah,
talking
so
about
what
it. Like
happened,
in
yeah.
Facebook
And I think
groups,
that
and then
edginess, like
you
even-
wouldn't be invited back to a certain show.
So how
because
does
you made
how is
some-
John Lovett still working then? I mean,
Man, define working.
Yeah.
But where's that? I love John Lovett. I'm like, where's he working? But
he has his own comedy club, John Lovett's comedy.
oh yeah, that's
Club.
true. Yeah.
he was here a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I used to love him on.
Yeah. That's the ticket.
But that's even like talking about Tucker Max, and like he wrote that book where it's just basically him just banging chicks and whatever. And if he wrote it now, it just wouldn't fly. Like the world's kind of evolved past that. And it was funny in Canada. I mean, basically the way Canada works, you got Toronto and Vancouver. That's sort of like our New York, LA thing. So and I was in Calgary, which is people think it's like the most redneck kind of place to go. So I had the option to move to Vancouver, which is known to be very sensitive, difficult, but you get good, or move to Toronto, you can get like TV stuff. And I went to Vancouver, and it was tough at first, man, because I would just be out there, and all my jokes were like, drink it and fuck it, and everyone's like, man, calm down. Like, yeah, for real. And then I kind of, but figured it out, and then I wrote a whole bunch of jokes that would do great in Vancouver, went back to tour in the, what our version of the Midwest, and just people were like, man, I don't care about this. So that's why, coming here is a great exercise, where, I mean, I have jokes I know that I think would really connect, but it's good where Lennox is like, try this one, try that, like push yourself, because a joke should be able to connect,
Sure.
no matter what, if it's funny.
If it's funny,
sometimes
it's
that's
funny.
not happening.
And he's a good barometer for that, because he does all the rooms. He
Yeah.
does all,
Yeah.
he,
Oh,
he
man,
knows the
yeah.
temperature,
and he
of
just
every room.
destroys everywhere, because
does.
Vancouver's incredibly PC, and he'll do his act doesn't change much at all too, which is a good sign that and he's not talking about easy subjects all the time either.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking badass. You get to run around with that. I call him a Jedi Master.
Yeah, he is.
Because he can go into any room and control it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what that man does.
Well, and we'll sit there after the show, and he'll be like, okay, what did you like, what you didn't like, I'll go over the thing, and then he'll just break down my set after seeing it. Like, he's seen it, 50 times. It'll always be new. Like, even last night we talked for like an hour, and I'm like, okay, now I got to work on all this for tonight. But he took me down to Florida for a week. I think it was we were there from Tuesday to Saturday, and then 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and I went in the Tuesday night, just riffed off something, went great. One in the Wednesday night, and I opened with a joke about snow, which I was like, oh, you guys, like, just talking about it, being like, do you guys know what snow is? And nobody, just dead silence. They're like, no. And then I'm like, you've never seen snow? And they're like, no, it's Florida. And I was like, oh man, I didn't really. And then the mic cord fell out of the mic, and I was like, I remember I just said, oh, it's all falling apart. And I didn't know in the States, I don't know, here that hasn't happened too much yet, but in Florida, if they don't like a joke, they'll just ignore you. They'll just, and then they start talking, like,
they'll start talking
there was a
among
couple in the
themselves. I've
front,
heard
they're like,
that.
oh god, this guy sucks. And I'm like, man, I can hear you.
Right.
Whoa. Like, and then that was a great experience. So then by the end of the week, he just like kind of put me through the ringer, and I went back up to Canada, and I just won that competition. I was like a new man, where I was like, all right, I kind of get how it goes. So this will be
cool.
similar too. Where,
Awesome.
Well, I think we're a whole lot nicer here in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's very polite here. Yeah, but people also don't have time for your shit in Kentucky. They're
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on like who you're talking to, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely that sense here.
At least out the gates, and then once they know you, they're
Yeah.
like, fully on board for anything. Yeah, but
So, where can people find you? Like, what's your social media and all that kind of good stuff?
man, I don't do too much social media, because when I started, this lady who had run a club up in Canada for a while, she was like, in your first few years, she's like, just kind of lay low as much as you can, and then because if sometimes people will look you up and see some stuff, and so it's pretty sparse. I mean, I just like on Facebook, I'll keep that in, because I don't have enough fans to get over the 5,000 limit yet. Yeah, and Instagram I don't do, but then this thing I'm doing in October, that's really gonna. I mean, I have a website like Chris Griffin Comedy or whatever, but there's not much on it. There's a thing, a special I recorded when I was 3 years in, which is, whew, man.
I read your story.
Which one?
The one on your website, talking about how you were going to go do an album, I guess, and the place flooded.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
The whole
like,
city flooded.
The
Yeah.
whole city flooded,
Yeah.
and so you didn't get to do that. And
Yeah,
it was a
I
big-
still did it, but I had
Yeah.
4 shows that were all sold out, and then they flooded, and it was a month later, and in summer now, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean in Canada you get 2 months of summer and then just miserable snow the rest of the time, so people aren't gonna go watch a comedy thing. I still did fine. I did 2 shows, and I'm proud of what it was, but I mean it was 3 years in, so this one is the one where I've got a whole bunch of publicity, like got a proper publicist, did a whole bunch of photo shoots and all that. So that's
Awesome. So this next recording is all like your best stuff from 3 years into now.
yeah, which
That's
is so
cool.
now I'm
So that'll
8
be
years
killer.
in. Yeah, so it'll be good. Yeah, then I hope I can turn another one out, within a couple years. And
Yeah,
keep
awesome.
going.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything coming up you want to plug or anything?
Man, nothing that I think anyone in Lexington would care about. But yeah, just
Well, we actually this podcast is international. You got people from all over the world listening.
listening.
To it.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, if anyone's listening in Canada, boy,
we
yeah.
have Canadian listeners.
Oh, do you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I'm headlining the Calgary and Edmonton Yuck Yucks the next 2 weeks, and then Laugh Lines in Vancouver. Those are the shows I'm doing. But yeah, the big thing is in October. I don't know. I might be doing some more stuff with Lennox too in the States, but I can't remember the dates.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, come through. But yeah, that's what I plugged. Look up Daryl Lennox. That's my plug. If you're listening now and you haven't heard of him, he's got a Conan set probably on YouTube. But
yeah.
his special Blind Ambition's fantastic, and that guy's making some big moves coming up here. So
Yeah, he's a great guy and a fantastic comic.
yeah, and if he comes through your city, man, check him out because yeah.
And definitely check this guy out. You see this guy Chris Griffin run around. It's not the guy from Family Guy. He's actually
No. That's my goal, is just to get onto the front page of Google results somehow. Like, just not even on the
Number
top. No, just
Just
on
the
the
front
front
page,
Because
all right.
right now I'm like 897th. There's just got to go through so many.
Is there a way like you put your middle initial in there or something?
Yeah, maybe. I think if you
you
do Chris Griffin comedy, I get on like page 3.
Well, when I found your website, it was on the top.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
If you
man,
type
I
in-
did it, baby.
If you type in Chris Griffin comedian, you're the first.
Yes,
thing
you
that
are.
shows up,
Oh,
so.
sweet. Man,
But
I
if you
better
just
update
push
that
Chris
website.
Griffin, there's
Oh,
just,
man, just endless.
yeah, fat little white kid,
things. Yeah, I'm calling this next special. I dressed like I wore his outfit, and then it's the cartoon background, and then
that's great,
it's like
yeah.
because Jay-Z has that line where he says, "I'm not a business man, I'm a business, man." Like, you know that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I'm not your family guy. Is what I'm calling it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Dude, we really appreciate you being on the show, man.
Man, thanks for having me. Yeah.
No,
Chris.
absolutely. We're looking forward to the show tonight. And if you guys haven't seen him, you want to come out and see him, definitely you need to. Last night, Daryl and Chris are going to be here. Ish, you got anything else?
No, I think that's all.
Madison?
I'm good, man. Thanks,
All right.
Chris.
All right, man.
Yeah. Follow
for
your hearts.
For Chris Griffin, Madison Pohl, Ish Shalosh, I'm Josh Arm. You guys have a good night.